Thank you for coming back to the table. We are talking today about how to spot a love imposter on the dating scene. Our first guest was life coach and counselor Dr. Rhonda Travitt. She wrote her book, Identifying an Imposter, based on some of her own personal life experiences. And joining the conversation now is Shenise Truesdell. Now, she admits she was a bit gullible in her previous relationships until she learned a few lessons the hard way. And now she has turned those lessons into a comedy career and a book. It's called Girl, Let Go or Be Dragged. That's an interesting title. Shanice, welcome.
Yes, hi. Thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed. It's good to have you. Let's talk about the experiences, sort of the collective. There have been a few imposters in your life, right?
There has been. Unfortunately, yes. So, I've had, situations where I feel like I may have given the benefit of the doubt when it wasn't necessarily earned or deserved. And because of that, and I think it has everything to do with my personality. I was a nice person, but now I consider myself to be kind. And
you can be kind and you can be nice and still not let people.
Exactly, but I was too nice.
Okay.
So I prefer now to be more kind than anything. And just extending the benefit of the doubt because, there's the societal pressures of, hey, you don't want to nag a guy, you want to be a guy's piece. So instead of me asking necessary questions and, in certain situations, I would just be, okay, well, understand.
I understand there was a fellow whose home you were never allowed to visit.
Oh,
Is that the right language? Were you not allowed or did you not ask? What did that look like?
Yeah, so it wasn't a hard no, and it wasn't really an ask, but this was where I was gullible. And there was a situation where I had a previous experience where the person was kind of down on their luck and had to, bunk with someone or move in with someone.
Stay with some folks?
Yeah, stay with some folks. And because of the living situation, it just wasn't a good idea for me to be there. And I'm like, okay, that's believable. But then I started thinking about it, and then the truth came out. That really wasn't the situation. So
there was a woman at the house. He was bunking with somebody, but it was not because he was on hard times.
Exactly.
Understood. And then there was a relationship with a person who had several girlfriends or partners, right? And a family member accidentally told you?
Yeah. So
tell me about that.
I was completely convinced that this was a monogamous relationship because I'm around the family. I'm with the, the core members of the family. And I'm like, okay, well, this is it. And then, accidentally someone said something, and then I started to question it, and then they gave me the look. Like,
oh, like you need to know, but he's family, so we're not going to throw him under the bus, but
exactly.
Blink 3 times if you're in a mess.
Right.
Gotcha.
And that's exactly what happened. And I remember, being there with the person, and, they were upset with the person because they had accidentally said these things. And that's how that was
the truth is revealed.
Yeah.
And like Dr. Travitt, you wrote about your experiences in a book as well, right?
Yes, I did. So there's a book series. It's the name of the series is Girl, Let Go or Be Dragged. And the first installment of the series is A Girlfriend's Guide to Not Getting Played or Playing Herself.
Okay.
So one of the things that I had to realize in this situation is, he may have been whatever he was, but I made the decision to stay. So I feel like we need to start being more accountable as women when we're in these situations.
Yeah. Dr. Travitt, I see you nodding your head. Accountability. I mean, some things can happen to us, but if we keep allowing them to happen,
we keep allowing it, and I always say we arm people to harm us because we give them so much information about us, and we don't just sit back and try to listen to some of the things that they're saying and compare that. But yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you were nodding your head the whole time through Shanice's story. This is because this is a common story for so many women, and to be clear, for men, right? People get duped and think that you are in a good situation. I'll ask you the same question, though. In retrospect, there were some red flags.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That were hard to spot, or you just didn't want to spot them?
No, they were there, and I saw them, and I
like what? For somebody who's watching and sitting uncomfortably in their own seat.
So I think a lot of times we see and we know, but we don't want to see, and we ignore. So, I'd like to think that I'm a little bit intelligent.
Of course, because intelligence has nothing to do with being emotionally invested in someone who deceives you.
Exactly. So the red flags were there, and I saw them, and I can honestly admit that I turned a blind eye to a lot of things, and I should not have done that. And I am an etiquette consultant, and one of the things that I created was a theory. It's called Etiquette 1-on-1. Be kind to you first. In those situations, I was not being kind to myself.
But here's what I love about your story as well, Shenise. You also turned this into a comedy career.
Yes.
Okay, so you had to have been funny beforehand, or was it just so much that you just started to work this into your comedy routines? How did you do that? Because that's bold.
Yeah. So what had happened was I am an etiquette consultant, and I said, you know what? Let me take these classes so that I can be a dynamic speaker. And it was after a bad experience, and I'm like, let me just dive into my career, my business. So I took classes, and I took the stand-up comedy class, and surprisingly enough, I was really good at it. And my entire set was based on my previous situations,
right?
Yes. And to my surprise, I was really funny. So had it not been for these horrible experiences, I would not be a comedian. I wouldn't have even entertained it.
And I think that's the case for so many people who go through these things, right?
Yes, male and females. It's that case, and you have to turn that into laughter.
Right.
Learn to laugh at yourself,
and learn to share with others, right? Because that's so much about how other women learn is when others open up. Stay with us, folks. So we have learned a lot, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can spot an imposter beforehand, as opposed to before things get all deep, right? We'll have that conversation when we return. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I really want to thank you for season 3 of Portia. It's because of loyal viewers like you that we keep getting to share this daily dose of positivity all across the country. So just a reminder, I still need you to like, comment, and subscribe. And go ahead and tell your friends. You can catch us now in Orlando, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, and all across the country on Fox Soul. Tell your friends. We'll see you soon on Portia.